back to OneClimate. We've had some fascinating interviews and discussions already today, and I'm delighted to say that we've got Emani Kumar, who's a director at ICLEI South Asia. He's going to be talking to us about the importance of cities and local governments in tackling climate change. Emani, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. Should we start off just by explaining to our viewers a little bit about what ICLEI does?
ICLEI is an association of local governments all over the world. We have more than 1,100 odd cities, and that includes nearly 40 odd cities from South Asia. So we have various campaigns and programs, and I can say that we are the first ones in the world way back in 1992-93 started a program with the cities and climate protection. So the program is called Cities for Climate Protection.
And what made kind of ICLEI decide that it was really important for cities to start tackling climate change? How did you come about this decision so quickly?
We help the cities to get into these issues, to solve these issues. So whatever the issue is there, that we are there to help them out. So we recognize this is one of the issue, and we say that cities are part of the problem, but cities are also solutions for the problem actually. So they can help to reduce these carbon emissions if they do it in a good and better way.
I was reading on your website something like 70% of the world's emissions come from cities, even though they obviously cover a very small land area. Presumably this feeds into the reason you think cities can make a really big impact in tackling climate change. What other factors make cities important?
The national governments can take the policies and everything, but the implementation happens on ground, and that is with the cities, like cities and communities. If they don't interact and if they don't address this issue, you're not going to solve anything. So that is where the importance of the cities comes into picture. They do energy efficiency works, they do a lot of water supply services, they do building energy efficiencies. So all that what you talk about linked to the climate change, the transportation, one of the biggest emitters maybe on the carbon emissions. So all these sectors are linked to the local government and the communities. So that is where their role comes into picture. And if they don't commit and if they don't act on this, I don't know how we are going to solve this issue at all.
And so I was doing a little bit of research before the interview. I thought I'd look into kind of see, what ICLEI was doing, but also how cities are working to tackle climate change. And I note that you said that ICLEI actually started working on the issue a long time ago, and I did come across some reports from the early 1990s, which was quite forward-thinking, looking at climate change. I came across a blog on sustainable cities by a guy called Alex Aylett. I think he's based in Canada, and he was saying that although there's I think he was actually reviewing your planning toolkit, ICLEI's new planning toolkit, and he said it was an excellent resource. But he said that there's only a select few examples of cities making real progress on sustainability issues. Do you agree with this? Would you agree with this? So is there kind of like is there a lack of real progress when it comes to cities and local government?
I don't agree completely with him. I'll say that this CCP program is going on more than 800 odd cities in the world. And even recently we started working with 54 South Asian cities. That includes cities like Calcutta with a population of nearly 14-15 million people, a city like Chennai in India, a city like Dhaka, which has a population of 16-17 million. So these are the cities we are really helping them to come out as part of this program. And this is one real good program. I'll say that this is a 5-milestone toolkit, 5-milestone program, wherein you inventorize your carbon emissions and you set a target and you come out with an action plan and see that how that action plan is actually really implementing, and you also monitor those action plans. So it's like a complete set of a tool where each city can see that what they are doing there. So that is where it is going on, and really it's helping them to work on this particular program.
And what steps can national governments make to really kind of speed this process? Presumably they provide the overall governance structure within which cities and local governments tackle climate change. So how can they help?
We were talking to various national governments, even here also we are continuing our discussions with the national delegations. Almost I'll say that most of the delegations whom we met, they're all agreeing on that, because we can come out with a policy at the national government, but then implementation again goes back to the local governments or the provincial governments, like this thing. Even a provincial government comes out with a policy, then it has to be implemented by a local government. So that is where their role comes into picture, and for example, in India now the National Climate Action Plan has 9 missions. One of them is a sustainable habitat mission, one of them is a solar mission. So we are really helping the cities to implement these missions, to set a targets and go ahead and reduce these carbon emissions.
And we've spoken about the importance of empowering cities and local governments in order to tackle these issues. From my perspective, somebody living in the UK, I think local governments and local authorities are quite often associated with actually obstructing progress on climate change. People don't like to have renewable energy developments in their backyard. They don't like a big wind farm outside. Is there a danger that if we actually start really empowering local governments, that they could be a force for obstructing progress and actually be a real barrier to developing renewable energies?
I don't see that actually. See, if you think this is a barrier, your main barrier was the climate change. The glaciers are melting down, and you have various weather patterns all over the world. It is happening. Like I say that we heard that the snow is happening now in the Middle East, and we have our the tropical countries, like the whole cyclone systems are affecting them, and monsoon systems are changing clearly. So see that as the barrier rather than I see your renewable energy issues or wind farms on the outskirts of the city, or in your own house. Maybe you have a solar panel and you generate electricity and use it. So I don't see this as a barrier, but then it is helpful for addressing the major issue, the global issue of carbon emissions and the climate change.